Have you heard the term "what reckless" and wondered if it could help you avoid a DUI? Maybe someone told you it's a great deal or that you should ask your attorney about it, but here's the thing. If you've been charged with DUI in Indiana, there is no such thing as a what reckless. In this video, I'm going to break down what a what reckless is, why some states use it, and why it does not apply in Indiana. So if you're facing a DUI charge in Indiana, this video will help you understand what's going on with this what reckless term. A what reckless is a plea bargain in some states, like California, where DUI is reduced to a reckless driving involving alcohol. It's still a criminal offense, but the penalties are often less severe than a DUI. It goes on your record as an alcohol-related criminal offense, and in some cases it can be used to enhance additional DUIs. But people like what reckless is because typically there's fewer penalties, less jail time, lower fines, shorter license suspension. It might help with the professional license, it might help with employment, and to be honest, anything looks better than a DUI. DUI does not look good on driving record, does not look good in criminal history, so almost anything looks better than a DUI, including this what reckless. Sounds great, right? Unfortunately, Indiana does not have a what reckless charge. There is a reckless driving in Indiana, and in some cases I'm able to get a DUI reduced to a reckless driving, although that is increasingly difficult in most counties in Indiana. And in fact, most prosecutors would rather take a bad case to trial than simply reduce a DUI to a reckless driving. There's lots of reasons behind that, but just understand there's not a what reckless in this state, and then reckless driving is very challenging to obtain in this state. But that is something that we're always trying to get for our clients instead of pleading guilty to a DUI, because DUI is not fun, does not look good, has enhanced penalties, it has insurance issues, all sorts of detrimental effects. So I want to do anything to avoid a DUI. Unfortunately, there is no what reckless, and reckless driving is not something that typically offered in Indiana, at least in the central part of Indiana where I practice. So the what reckless question comes up a lot when we're dealing with people from out of states that are visiting for the 500, visiting for basketball games, visiting for football games, here for conferences. Indianapolis is a great city for all of those things. Not so great for reducing DUIs to reckless drivings or wet reckless, because we don't have a wet reckless. Not all hope is lost. At this law firm, every single DUI case, we try to find a way to get rid of it. So we're going to attack the stop, we're going to attack the way the officer interacted with the person, we're going to attack the scientific evidence, whether it's the breathalyzer or the blood test at the station or the hospital. We're going to do everything we can to try to get rid of these charges, and if we cannot get rid of these charges, we will do everything we can to make sure these charges have the smallest impact on our clients' lives. If you or someone you care about is facing a DUI charge in Indiana, don't rely on what worked in another state. Every jurisdiction is different, and Indiana plays by its own rules. If you've been charged with DUI in Indiana, give me a call, 317-632-3642. I will talk about DUI defense all day. It's a passion of mine. But most importantly, remember to always plead the fifth.